What's up, Internet? That's right, it's your boy, Aaron, and welcome to Gold Hall Gaming Presents. This is another episode of our solo play series. I am returning with more of Wolves of Langston, or as we're calling it, Aaron's Wolfpack. Go ahead and bring everyone up to speed with what happened last time. Of course, you can always go and watch the previous stream yourselves to get more information on what all happened. But let's go ahead. No, bad. There we go. So, last time we all met and sat down for our solo play series, we began Wolves of Langston. We arrived in the town of Langston, and after a brief interaction, with the head cleric of the town. We attended the funeral for a young lady who had been murdered. We were hired by the mayor to get to the bottom of it and to find her killer and to bring them to justice. After which, we went and talked to her fiance, who we found in the embrace of another woman. But we went, talked to him, gathered the information we needed from him, and then we went to look in his garden and look over things, as there had been damage done to his garden, and found ourselves up against two scraplings, who very quickly found out that these hands are rated E for everyone. Yeah. That being said, today we are returning, obviously, and we are going to be, hopefully, making some Give me a moment. Not entirely sure what happened there. Give me a moment, guys. Apparently my sizing has been thrown entirely off. Give me a moment. Technical difficulties. Stretch the screen. And then we will pull it in. And then we will pull it in. Then we will lock it. Then we will put it back down where it was. There we go. All right. So, as I said before, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gold Hall Gaming Presents Solo Plays. This is Wolves of Langston by Obvious Mimic, and we will be picking up where we left off on prompt 93. We have gained the benefit of a short rest. So we go back up to full health. We regain half of our hit points. Luckily, we weren't really beat up too badly. We regain up to, let me try to remember here. Yeah, so we would, if we had spent it, the key points that we did spend, we regained, obviously, at our short rest. And at this point, we're just continuing at prompt 93. So, strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. Grab yourself something to drink, something to eat, and enjoy the show as we return once more to Wolves of Langston. Oh Lord, that is really fucking loud. All right. Let me drop that volume a little bit more. It is massively overpowering me. How's that there? Okay. You wake with moonlight streaming in the window. It's a beautiful, clear night, but you feel the back of your neck prickle. After walking to the window, you look across cobblestone streets to the roof of the neighboring building. A hunched, hairy shape is silhouetted against the night sky and limned with moonlight. Though its face is obscured in shadows, its eyes burn with a golden fire. Whatever it is extends a long, powerful arm in your direction and waits. The rooftop is across the street and angled slightly upwards from your second-story room. Give me one moment, guys. I'm getting bombarded. All right. Mystic's being a pain in my butt right now. Apparently she forgot that I'm streaming. So we can go to open the window and call out to the creature. Go to 79. Call out for help. Go to 53. Or charge outside to attack the beast. Go to 94. All right. So I have 3 choices to make here. I'm actually going to roll the dice on it. 33 or lower, we will call out. 66 to 34. Call out for help. 67 and up, we gonna attack. Lord, woman. Excuse me while I put my phone on mute. I do apologize. Mystic's apparently having a really good day today. So, anyway. Roll them dice. 97. Okay, we are attacking. Go to 94 right there. Gain inspiration. Beautiful. Beautiful. We actually still have 3 inspiration regardless, but all right, we're getting ready to go fight. So let's do it. You bolt out the door and thunder down the stairs, bursting out the front door to scan the skyline, but the creature is gone. When you turn around, the innkeeper standing at the threshold in a nightgown, holding up a lantern in one hand. He's staring at you with visible concern. Assure him everything is fine, return to your room and go back to sleep, go to 89, or return to your room, bar the doors and keep watch, go to 55. Alternatively, you could tell him to go back inside before you investigate where you last saw the monster. We're going to 87. All right. We're going to go to 87. So let's see. Oh, forgot to log that. Hold on one second. Prompt 94. And that's prompt 87. Again, if you want to join if you've joined our Discord, you can, after today's session, I will be posting up the entire journey so far for Kragan through, Wolves of Langston so that y'all can see exactly how the story's gone so far. But, let's move on to 87. You walk over to the building where you saw the creature and look for a way up to the rooftop. The timbered wall construction offers a lot of handholds, but it's not exactly a ladder, and the darkness makes it more challenging. Roll a strength athletics check to scale the wall. If you roll 12 or more, go to 96. If you roll less than 12, go to 59. If you have a climb speed or the ability to fly from a spell or ability, you can also go to 96. All right, so first skill check of the day. Boom, 13. That is a pass. So that is prompt 96. The rooftop is quite easy to navigate once you're up there and you're able to reach the location where you saw the creature easily enough. What appears to be long claw marks indicate the space very clearly, but there aren't any claw marks anywhere else. You look around for any other clues that might point you toward who or what you're dealing with. Roll an intelligence investigation check. If you get 10 or more, go to 68. If you get 10 or less, go to 82. Or less than 10, go to 82. Alright, so one of the things that Kragan is not really, really built for here. Just like, let us hope we do not need to use one of our inspiration. We do not. A 15 is a success. So we will be going to prompt 68. Gain another inspiration. So we are now at redonkulous levels of inspiration. Give me one moment to update my note here. All right. On the roof tiles around the claw marks, you find smears of what look and smell like black earth. There's a faint smell of rot to it, but it otherwise just appears to be unusually rich soil. You also find a few tufts of coarse animal hair, but only in that location. After handling the fur for a moment, it disintegrates into a shimmer of moonlight. Examining the rest of the roof shows one or two more smears of dark earth, but no other hair. Finding nothing else, you decide to return to the inn. You carefully make your way back down off of the building and go back to your room, locking your door and window. You can now either keep watch for the creature's return, 55, or try to get some sleep, 89. Decisions. I'm gonna just go to sleep. I don't think this thing was an actual threat to me. It was trying to direct me to something. Like, yeah, I wanted to go fight yeah, I chose to go fight it, but I don't think I got anything to worry about. We're gonna go to prop 8 and 9. Yep. Despite the scare you've just had, you see it as just another day in the life of a hero for hire. You check that the door and window are locked, draw the curtains, and crawl back into bed. In the dark, with just the sound of your own beating heart, it's harder than you had thought to find sleep. Roll either a Constitution or a Wisdom saving throw. If you get a 12 or more, get the benefits of a long rest. If you get under 12, only get the benefits of a short rest. When dawn breaks, you climb out of bed and prepare for the day. Alright, so this is one of those laughable moments because... Wait, what? All right. Constitution or wisdom? I'm a monk. And inspiration won't help there, so we're just gonna take the short rest. Which doesn't change anything for us, really. Alright, and now we are going to go to prompt 107. A cold breakfast is just outside the door to your room, which you eat as you go. The common room is empty and the streets are quiet. The wagon laden with flowers from the funeral still sits outside of the inn. You remind yourself of your purpose here and head out of town to speak to the druid. You get the path to the druid's grove marked on your map before leaving town. Go to prompt 108. right. You leave from the southwest and cross the river onto a seldom used dirt road. You walk along the road until you reach the path leading into the Druid's Grove. The path to the grove winds through old growth forest. It's beautiful and peaceful beyond your expectations. Shafts of sunlight pierce the canopy to dapple a forest floor of pillowy moss. Everything is rich brown and shining green. But something is wrong. Silence hangs over the wood like a shroud. No birds are singing. No insects are humming in the undergrowth. Not even the distant call of a raven breaks the stillness. Something is very wrong. You walk through the eerily quiet wood. Sunlight jabs through the canopy, creating little pools of light everywhere. But the lack of sound is unnerving. You go into the woods anyway. Go to prompt 122. And there's an illustration of the grove, I assume. You move unbothered south along the path through the silent woods. Eventually, you reach a clearing. At first, you wonder if it's the Druid's Grove, but it's just a place where the trees have given grass a little room to grow. This seems like a good place to stop for a moment and have a drink from your water skin. But you do a quick spot check for threats first. Roll either an intelligence or a nature or perception check. If you get a 15, go to 155. If you get lower than that, go to 119. All right, so perception or nature. We're definitely gonna go perception here. And we need a 15 or higher. And there's a fucking 21. Beautiful. So we will be going to prompt 155. Lounging in a nearby tree, you see a single tiny beast with leathery wings folded over a rounded body. Its long, sharp proboscis dips as it dozes. It's holding itself in the tree with clawed legs. It's a sturge, and while it hadn't noticed you enter the clearing, it sees you now. Remarkably, however, you have a clear shot. If you have a ranged attack, you can attack once with the advantage as a surprise round. It approaches within melee range in the first round. Go to 144. Alright, so we do have an attack of opportunity. Let me double check. I do believe I have yep. Boom. All right, let's do some adjusting here. So this is gonna be like right here, I guess, and obviously We got Kragan. We got to, nope, wrong song. Hold on. There we go. We got the battle music going now. All right, so let's see. I have a dart. Now, here's my thing. That's a ranged attack, ranged weapon. So, let me double check a few things here because I might be able to do some really dumb shit. Damn, can't do it with the dart. All right. But I can do it with the wrist blades, so. All right. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna, go ahead and move to prompt 144. The Sturge is some unholy union between bat and mosquito, but it also looks worse for wear. Its wings are haggard and there are some ragged edges about it. Lacking color, the tiny creature is obviously ravenous. It fights you to the death. If you reduce it to 0, go to 138. If you drop to 0, go to 115. It gets a +3 to its initiative, so let us begin. First, we're going to go ahead. What did it roll? A 9, so a 12. And Kragan also rolls a 12. So the tiebreaker has Kragan going first. All right. So 14. That's what I was looking for. All right. So Kragan is going to go for a unarmed strike. And he is going to miss. Apparently all my good rolls were used up on skill checks. Cool. This current point in time, that's all Kragan got, really. Yeah. All right, next up is the Sturge. And the Sturge has only has one action. It is called Blood Drain. It is a +4 to hit. So that is a miss. An 11 does not beat my 14. So this is gonna be it. Moving over to here. Not exiting melee range, combat range. So no initiative was, or no attack of opportunity was triggered by the Sturge. And it's Kragan's turn. Yay! All right. So obviously Kragan's gonna do his normal unarmed strike. A 22 does hit that 14. And I'm guaranteeing you 4 points of damage. The Sturge is dead. All right. We are going to prompt 138. Gain an inspiration. We have so much inspiration. You knock the little bloodsucker out of the air. It falls to the ground, twitches a couple of times, and then lies still. This clearing still seems like a good place to take a rest. As you rest, however, the sound does not return to the woods. The Sturge was not the cause of the unease. Gain the benefits of a short rest. Cool. So, gonna take my shorter rest here. We also gonna go ahead and make that wrist blade, those wrist blades, into our monk weapon. So, yeah. All right, just double checking. So, prompt 138, gain a short rest. When you are ready to move on, you continue toward the Druid's Grove. Go to 150. In nomine Patri et Filii Spiritus Sancti. I don't even know why I said that. Yeah, no. All right, back to it. After twisting and turning a little way through the woods and calming down after your run-in with the Sturge, you reach the edge of the trees above what could only be the druid's home. The woods open up into a pasture dotted with wildflowers. A craggy outcropping of stone juts up from the center, and it looks like there's a small kitchen area set up under an overhang along with a hammock, table, and a chest. It looks like a naturally occurring lean-to or cottage with most of the walls missing. The druid is nowhere to be seen. You can clearly see that the grove is occupied, however. Near the outcropping, you can see a medium-sized wolf. The animal is stocky and slightly red in color and hasn't noticed you yet, though it raises its head to sniff at the air from time to time. Try to sneak into the grove, go to 143. Just stride in, go to 156. We don't have any beef with Roy. Why would we need to hide? You know what I mean? So we're just gonna stride in 156. All right. Give me a moment, guys. My vape is finally charged up a good bit. You enter the grove without any attempt to hide your presence. The druid clearly enjoys the sun, as the grove is a large clearing. Clumps of flowers, both wild and cultivated, dot the space, and the stone outcropping turned cabin stands at the center of the natural beauty around you. As you approach, the wolf, much more powerful looking up close, stalks into view from behind the druid's home. Its head is down and its hackles are up, but it's not baring its teeth at you. As you and the wolf look at each other, you also see that its muzzle is smeared and speckled with what appears to be fresh blood. You can either approach the wolf peacefully or attack it. Go to 130 to attack, go to 110 to be peaceful. We's gonna go with prompt 110. We're gonna be peaceful about this. The wolf looks quizzically at you, clearly confused about what to do next, but also not attacking. It flicks its ears and appears lost in thought. If you have any rations in your pack, you could offer some food to the wolf. Alternatively, you could try to communicate with the wolf by speaking to it normally, or with a speller ability that allows you to speak with animals. Go to 118. We do not have a speller ability that allows us to speak with animals, so that's out of the equation completely. Let's double check, see if we have any rations. We have 10 rations on us. We can go with 145 or 134. I'm thinking prompt 145. Right? Right. You pull some rations out of your pack and put it on the ground for the wolf to eat. Remove one ration from your inventory and gain an inspiration. We are seriously stacking inspiration over here, guys. All right. That is reduced to 9. The wolf sniffs at what you've offered and then takes a bite. It nods in appreciation as it snaps and snuffles through the meal. When it finishes, it sits on its haunches, licking its lips and nodding. It looks to you expectantly. All right, now we go to prompt 134, as we still do not have a way to magically communicate with this thing. The wolf in the druid's grove seems unusually intent on you and responsive to your actions. You wonder out loud if it can understand you. It nods. You ask who or what the wolf is and why it can understand you. It trots over to the living area under the rock outcropping and noses around a pile of tattered clothes. A moment later, it comes trotting back with a wooden druidic holy symbol. It drops the symbol at your feet. You have found the druid. Go to prompt 158. You ask the druid to revert back to his dwarven shape, but he woefully shakes his head. He trots towards the home, built under the outcropping, clearly requesting you follow. The inside is as joyfully sloppy as the dwarf himself. The druid in wolf form pads around for a few minutes until he jams his snout into a box of scrolls. After gingerly lifting a few out and unfurling them, the druid places a paw on one. You read, all right. Polpox, or Doppelganger's Curse. Polpox is a blood-borne disease that affects those who can innately change their shape. Doppelgangers, dragons if they contract it, and even unfortunate members of druidic circles. It causes sporadic, uncontrollable shapeshifts that persist as long as the disease itself, which can last weeks before recovery. In extreme cases, delirium and even memory loss can occur. Following the description of the disease, there's a recipe for a decoction including wolfsbane, sage, and hornwort. You ask if these herbs grow nearby, and the druid nods. You also ask if the herbalist will have them, and get another emphatic nod. You ask if you can take this page from the book, and the wolf nods. Add Polpox cure recipe to your inventory. All right. Hollypox, my bad. Cure recipe. Ask if the druid is sure it's Polpox, go to 113. You can either look for the herbs yourself, go to 146, or get them from the herbalist, go to 127. Alright, 113, gonna make sure he knows what he's talking about here. There must be a reason that he believes that it's Polypox. The wolf stares at you for a moment, then starts to vibrate. Its form starts to soften, and the bones and muscles move. And then, with a sneeze, all motion stops. The druid nods and then stares impatiently at you. You can try to find the herbs yourself, go to 146, or go back to town and get them from Tomlin, go to 127. Nope, we're going back to town. We do not have any ability to put this shit together. The disadvantages of being only level 2. So that is going to be 127. All right. You return to Tomlin's cottage to get any herbs you're missing for the polypox cure. When you arrive, you knock and Tomlin answers alone. You tell him about the polypox cure and let him know that you need sage, hornwort, and wolfsbane for Roy. Ah, well, shouldn't be too hard, he says with a broad smile. Which one do you need? If you want to get sage, go to 114. If you still need hornwort, go to 159. Or, if you're missing wolfsbane, go to 157. So we'll go ahead and get the sage first. That is going to be prompt 114. I have some sage growing in the garden, but part of the trellis has fallen into that plot, Tomlin says, but he hands you a hammer and some nails. But many hands make light work. If you could help fix that bit of fence, you can take as much sage as you want. He leads you out to the garden and to the place that needs repairs. He can't stay and help, though, as he has something very delicate brewing and he needs to stay near his filtration system. Roll a dexterity check or a proficiency check with carpenter's tools. If you get 10 or more, go to 121. If you get less than 10, go to 148. All right, a dexterity check. Beautiful. We're going to use an inspiration here. One of our stockpiled inspirations is gone. That leaves us with 5 stockpiled. But that is a 17, so we will be going to 121. You are able to get the trellis fixed in short order. Tomlin appears just as you're putting the last nail into the lattice. Add sage to your inventory. Alright, maybe we should actually, like, get this shit in order in a minute. All right, hold on. Yeah, we need to. Alright, there's the Polypox cure recipe added. Sage. Filter of remembrance. 10 charges. Scrappling. Claw. All right, that is it. All right, next we are gonna go to 157. Ah, I have lots of dried wolfsbane, but I can't handle it right now. Tomlin shows you a bandaged hand. Hurt myself in the fight against the scraplings. It's a poisonous flower, and I wouldn't want to get any of its toxins in an open wound. Instead, he leads you to his cottage and points to the bundles of the flower drying in the window, inviting you to collect some yourself. Make a wisdom, medicine, or dexterity check. If you get 15 or more, go to 147. If you get less, go to 161. So, medicine or dexterity? What's my medicine look like? They're both the same. Okay. I guess we'll go with dexterity. There we go, a 17. So it's going to be prompt 147. Under Tomlin's watchful eye, you manage to safely collect the wolfsbane. Add wolfsbane to your inventory. Alright, if you're still missing an herb for the cure, you can still get sage or hornwort. We need hornwort, so we are going to 159. As hornwort is an aquatic plant, Tomlin can't grow it himself. It needs to get some from his stock. He's expecting a shipment, but it's in high demand. He asks that you help him cover the costs of collecting the herb. Pay Tomlin 1 silver for the herb, or trade something worth at least 5 silver for the herb. If you don't want to pay, however, you can also try to persuade Tomlin to give it to you for free. What's my persuasion? Poop. Yeah, my charisma's shit. We ain't gonna try that. I guess I'll just pay a silver. Go to 153. Add Hornwort to your inventory. Remove 1 silver. Hornwort added to inventory. 1 SP removed from inventory. All right, Tomlin thanks you very much for your understanding. We do not still need any more plants, or if you have all the herbs you need, you can go back to Roy's Grove. Go to 140. All right, so we would be going to prompt 140. One moment, guys. All right. When you arrive in the grove, Roy is waiting for you in wolf form. He helps you find a battered teapot in his kitchen cubby and helps you brew from the medicinal herbs. Looking for a teacup, you can't find one, and just pour the steaming bitter brew into a bowl of questionable cleanliness. It doesn't seem to bother the druid as he laps up the medicine. After finishing the bowl, the druid lies down and you follow suit, finding a comfortable place on the ground to sit. After about an hour or so, the wolf swarm starts to ripple and shift. Roy gets up and paces, a low whine escaping his throat. With a rustling sound like wind in tall grass, the fur recedes back into his skin. His limbs groan and pop as they shorten and twist back into his natural shape. Eventually, Roy ceases to be a wolf and changes back into a dwarf who smiles broadly at you despite a red nose and watery eyes. "Ah, that's so much better," he says, wiping his nose with his sleeve. "Snot and all, that's a first for me. Polypox isn't easy to catch. It's a blood-borne disease, and while there was that elderly sturge in the wood, after being abandoned by its swarm, it couldn't have gone far. So there was some other shapeshifter nearby that passed the disease. Maybe some doppelganger traveling in disguise, or a lycanthrope passing through one night. Must be slipping." He thanks you profusely and says he wants to return the favor with a gift. He unclasps the silver starburst brooch on his chest and presents it to you. This is the Silver Star, he says. A gift from an old cleric friend of mine, Selene's predecessor at the temple. Since we druids have problems removing curses, he thought it would be helpful. Still haven't used it, but maybe you can find a use for it. Add Silver Star to your inventory. Alright, and we got a little insert here. Silver Star, created by holy orders to protect common folk and monster hunters alike, the Silver Star is a rare wondrous item. It is a single charge of remove curse within it with a range of touch. When used, the Silver Star glows brightly and discharges star-like motes of energy. Casting remove curse on the star recharges it. Huh. It can only hold one charge at a time. This item requires attunement. The druid is happy to have you back anytime you need anything, but at the moment he badly needs a rest. Before you return to Langston, you can ask him a few last questions. Alright, ask Roy about the Scrappling Claw, or ask Roy if he had polypox before or after Maybelline's death. Decisions. Okay, we're gonna ask him about the Scrappling Claw first, actually. So we're gonna go to prompt 163. You ask if this could have been the killer, and Roy shakes his head. Not a chance. This is a wee little thing. You should look at what's left of the girl. You'll see that these poor victims were mauled by some beast much larger than this. But this could still be of some use. He asks for the claw. You hand it over, and Roy binds it with some leather from nearby, chanting softly in the druidic language as he goes. Light yellow motes of energy coalesce around the limb, whose claws are now tightly bound in a leather strap. He hands you the dismembered limb. The Scrappling Claw will act as a magic club +1 for the next week. Well, all right. Club +1. Scrappling Claw. All right. Grappling Claw. Now acts as a club +1. I hope that helps you for a bit, adventurer. Roy says, now, until I see you next, I must rest. If you haven't asked yet, you can still find out when he got sick. Or if you want to give him some rest, you can return to the end. We're going to ask him about when he got sick. That is prompt 135. Gain inspiration. All right, we are up to a total of 6 stockpiled. I can't rightly say when I got sick, he says, but I'm pretty sure I started feeling a bit sniffly around the new moon. Took a couple weeks to start sneezing and changing, though. You continue questioning Roy about whether or not he has any amnesia. As far as I can tell, there's no gaps in my memory. Wasn't even sneezing or anything by the time the moon was full. Only just today did I have the first uncontrollable change. Am I a suspect now? But he doesn't wait for an answer, just throws his head back and laughs. You ask if the polypox has anything to do with werewolves, anything to do with werewolves then. A werewolf, any lycanthrope, can definitely get polypox, but just be a carrier. It's tough to say, but I do know it's a bloodborne disease, and I haven't been fighting anything with fur these past months. Probably that old sturge in the wood infected me. It got me pretty good one time. Finally, you ask if Maybelline died on the night of the full moon. Now that you mention it, yes. That young lady died right around then. Maybe even on the night of the full moon. So you may be onto something there. Ramir, you can ask Roy more about the scrappling claw you took from Tomlin's house. Already did that. Or you can say goodbye and return to town for a rest. Go to prompt 124. We're going to go to prompt 124 and get that rest on. You return to the inn for a well-deserved rest after a very busy day. You eat a hearty meal alone in the common room before falling into an exhausted sleep. You are troubled by dreams as you sleep. In one, you are attacked by rose bushes that claw at you with their thorns. In another, you are running through the streets of Langston on all fours. In a third, you see the hulking shape that woke you before as it watched you from a nearby rooftop. It bears down on you, but you cross over into a shaft of sunlight. As the dark beast reaches into the light for you, it starts to crack and crumble. Just as it's about to become visible, you wake up with a start. You lie in your bed at the inn. You are alone in the room, and there's nothing outside of the window. You may either try to go back to sleep, go to prompt 117, or you get up to keep watch, 160. I think this time we are going to keep watch. All right. It's an uneventful night. You don't get nearly as much rest as you would have liked. Get the benefits of a long rest, gain inspiration. Alright, so that is now 7 stockpiled inspiration. A short rest. Obviously, we're going to switch and make that Scrappling Claw our monk weapon. Let me double check the exact wording here real quick. Yep. All right. Once the sun has risen, someone starts knocking at the door. Answer the door, 128. Draw a weapon before opening the door, 162. Ignore the knocking, 132. Answer the door. Not like I got anything to be scared of here, right? What is that? Prompt 128. You open the door to the innkeeper carrying a steaming tray. He gives you your breakfast and asks if you're doing well. The Sun Cleric was in the tavern last night. She was asking after you then and today. Will you be visiting her today? She has asked that you come to the temple. It seems that people in town have been talking and she thinks she can help. You also had this from the mayor's office. He places a note among your dishes. You thank the innkeeper for the message and the breakfast. You eat as you read the note. Go to 164. Prompt 165. The note is a square piece of paper with neatly cut edges. There's a new lead that you will need to follow. Come to town hall. Checking both sides of the paper, there is nothing else. Go to prompt 165. Oh, that was the end of chapter 3, ladies and gentlemen. And it is at this point we're going to take a short little intermission here. I'm going to step away, go get something to drink, and I'll be back in just a few. In the meantime, don't go anywhere, just sit tight. We'll be back with more of this solo play and see if we can get through chapter 4. All right, we back, guys. Sorry about the wait. Let's get back into this, shall we? All right. After you've eaten, you make your way once again to the town hall. As you make the trip, you feel like you're starting to see the rhythm of life here in Langston. You're seeing many of the same going to and coming from the market. Craftspeople of all kind quietly go about their business. If not for an undercurrent of fear seen in the occasional jump start or furtive look over a shoulder, Langston could be mistaken for any other of the other sleepy towns that dot the land. But it's not. It's a place where killers walk the streets at night, beasts invade gardens by day, and druids are trapped within their own powers. And now there's something else. Go to prompt 193. The mayor's aide is waiting for you at town hall. Ah, you're here. The mayor has been waiting. Follow me, please. He leads you to the mayor's office and leaves without a word. The mayor looks up as you enter. Buttercup maintains his position beside the desk. After a perfunctory greeting, Mayor Anathram says that she needs you to investigate a report of bandits in the region. Reports are coming in of two strangers that make citizens feel threatened. Likewise, there are a number of farm animals missing. Also, other items of value. The arrival of these strangers is likely related. Maybelline's death could also be related to these strangers. I want you to investigate. Oh, excuse me, guys. I have to step away for a minute. Alright, sorry about that. Got overheated real fast out of nowhere. Need to go stand in front of the AC, cool the fuck off a little bit. Like we were saying, we have to roll an insight check against the DC 15. Alright. We beat that. So that is prompt 212. You realize that this is probably not related to the murder you are investigating and call the mayor out. It is unclear, she says, but some uncertainty shows around her deadpan stare. But there is no evidence of their involvement. Yet. Still, I need you to find out for sure. Oh, we definitely gonna, you can either negotiate additional pay or accept the task as is. No, we get more money out of her ass. That we ain't doing this shit for free, yo. I don't think she understands. Kragan is the sin of greed. I do not normally negotiate with those I employ, she says. But if it will speed you along, then you can have this. She pulls a coin purse from a desk drawer and tosses it to you. You don't say anything about how she had an additional fee ready. Add 30 gold pieces to your inventory. Fuck yeah. I expect that is sufficient to continue doing the job you have agreed to do, she says. You agree and ask the what the mayor knows. Go to prompt 232. Give me your map of Langston, Mayor Anthram says with an outstretched hand. Once you hand it over, she uses the quill from her desk to circle an area outside of town in the wooded area to the north. Search this area for the bandit camp and to remove them from the area, by force if necessary. This should be well within your abilities. She looks at you and points to the wooded area around the supposed camp. Use the forest paths. People are frightened of the murderer and the rumor of bandits. More strangers on the road could cause panic. You agree, but it's more of a reflex to the mayor's raw authority than a conscious agreement. You take the map and say goodbye. Go to prompt 176. Heading north as if traveling to the nearby farmlands, you veer off the road into the woods to the east of the road. You pick your way through the woods. As you proceed, you keep an eye on the sun through the trees and clouds and seek out any of the landmarks you might see on the map. This part of the forest is quiet, but likes the unnatural stillness of Roy's woods when he was sick. It's just a peaceful forest full of all the hums and twitters of a naturally healthy environment. A river burbles somewhere off to the west. If you weren't marching toward almost certain violence, it would be a very calming hike on a pleasant day. Go to prompt 215. As you make your way through the woods, you come across a clearing ringed with old trees with thick, gnarled trunks. The birdsong is especially beautiful here, and the air smells of a heady mix of wildflowers and honey. Sitting in the center of the clearing on a stump, you see an unusual woman. Her skin is bright green, and her hair a tangle of leaves and moss. She hasn't seen you, her whole attention on a robin resting in her outstretched hand as she laughs and twitters back to the little bird. You have found a dryad, a fey creature with a deep connection to the forest. You can sneak past the dryad, make your presence known, or attack the dryad. We're going to let the dryad know we're here. We're not about to pick fights with a fairy. Prompt 175. Deciding stealth is for sneaks, thieves, and cowards, you emerge from the woods in full sight of the green-skinned woman in the clearing. She's clearly surprised. The foliage that makes up her hair and clothes rustles in a breeze that isn't there, but she appears unafraid. She remains silent as she calmly watches what you can do next. You can either try to communicate or attack her. Try to communicate. Prompt 200. Is that right? Yeah. You greet the green-skinned woman and ask her what she is doing here in the forest. I meet you, skin person, the woman says in broken common. Sylvan, speak you? Do I actually have Sylvan? No. Continue in common, 177. Common not good me, she says. Sylvan gooder, but talking. You nod as if you understand, and she continues. Badman there, she says, pointing off into the distance. Mini string, sharp string, grab friends. She wraps her hands around her own neck and makes a sad face. Help us, can you? She says. Little friend, so sad. I know not fixing how. Bad men now gone, but camp still being. Soon returning be maybe. You say that yes, you should be able to help her sad little friends and confirm that she means the bandits are not at the camp right now. The dryad nods with a proud smile. For help you, she says, and gives you a small bottle. Drink to be tree skin. You almost certainly don't understand this one, so you touch the potion to your lips to figure out what it is. You immediately feel sturdier, tougher all over. Add a potion of bark skin to your inventory. Alright. Potion grants the effects of the Barkskin spell. Your AC is at least 16 for the next hour after consuming its contents. You ask the Dryad to show you where the camp is located. Go to 195. The Dryad leads you through the woods, her feet barely making a sound in the underbrush that you need to at least make an effort to avoid. She leads you to an easy entrance point and points to where the trees thin into another clearing. This flat patch of earth couldn't be more different from where you met the Dryad. The sloppily built fire pit is surrounded with the detritus of several meals, including scorched bones of various sizes and old grayish porridge even the local wildlife steered clear of. Most importantly, the camp is indeed empty with no sign of activity at all. You turn to the Dryad to thank her for her help in finding the camp, but she has already vanished into the woods as if she was never there. With a shrug, you slip into the camp to investigate further. Go to prompt 182. All right. The camp isn't much all told, and you probably wouldn't think anything of it just stumbling across the site on your own. A competent but not impressive fire pit is set up at the center of the clearing. The no kindling appears to be gathered for tonight. Charred bones from a variety of small animals and other less recognizable detritus litters the ground. There don't seem to be any tents, but two rough lean-tos have been constructed to presumably keep bedrolls dry in the event of rain. There's very little else that seems important in the camp, though you can see an oilcloth bundle hanging in a tree to keep something off the ground and away from curious animals. It's tied to a tree trunk with a rough hemp rope. Roll an investigation check to search the camp for anything you may have missed. Investigation. Nope. We're gonna burn that inspiration and one of our stockpiled inspiration. So we go back down to 6 stockpiled. And re-roll that. There we go, and that 20. $207. You search through the bandit camp, starting with the oilcloth hung in the tree. A leather scroll case contains a rolled sheet of vellum. Examining the document, you see that it is a warrant made out to someone named Horace and Titch, the bandits' names, presumably. It offers hundreds of gold pieces in reward for information regarding the criminal's location and thousands for her capture, dead or alive. The warrant is for the Wolf of the Road, who has an obviously orcish name you don't recognize. They are wanted for the killing of a constable in Three Rivers. Not knowing what to make of this, you take the document with you until you can find out more. These bandits have clearly fallen on hard times, as their gear all seems tattered and in poor repair. It's likely that any valuables they might have are also kept on their persons. However, elsewhere in the clearing, you also find a smaller oilcloth rolled up and stuck into a deep knoll on a tree. In this second oilcloth, you manage to find an agate brooch worth 15 gold pieces, and disguised with some ash, there's a flimsy jeweled dagger worth 5 gold pieces. Leaving the rest of the bandage junk, you note that the day is coming to an end soon, and you will need to hurry back to town to report to the mayor. Alright, so an agate brooch worth 15. And a jeweled dagger worth 5. Jeweled dagger and agate brooch added to inventory. All right. Go to prompt 183. All right. And before we go to that prompt, where's what I'm looking for? There was a thingy. Where is it? Ah. Back of the book labeled General Store. Here we go. Okay. Looking for something real quick. Hold on. All right. Anyway. $183. Your trip back into town is uneventful. As you walk, the roads are empty of other travelers, though that could also be explained by the quickly advancing nightfall. You keep your eyes on the tree line too, but no hungry wolves make another appearance either. No one wants to be caught outside after dark with an unknown killer out there. By the time you make it back to Langston, the sun is nothing more than a faint blush on the western horizon, and stars are just speckling the sky overhead. It's later than you expected, but you feel that the warrant should be discussed immediately. As you arrive at the town hall, the sun is completely gone. The building is dark, but you run into the mayor's aide locking up just as you arrive. "The mayor isn't here," he says in response to your question, "though she does often stay into the night. She seemed distracted after receiving a sealed message earlier today. She wouldn't tell me what was in it, but she left shortly after." You let him know it's incredibly urgent that you need to speak to Mayor Anathram right away. He gives you directions to her house and bids you a good night. Go to pay prompt 206. All right, here we go. As you approach the mayor's home, you see two shabbily dressed men lounging by the entrance to her garden. One is tall and lean with a sharp face that seems set in a permanent grimace of contempt. So this must be Titch. The other, presumably Horace, has a smug smile on his face as he scratches idly at his protruding belly. Both wear equally mismatched clothing and piecemeal light armor, as if everything they have is scavenged from those even less fortunate than them. As you watch, the mayor approaches from the other direction. She stops to scowl at the two men. You see her hand stray towards her belt as if reaching for a weapon, but she catches herself and stalks forward. Shorter the pair waves and waggles his eyebrows. They greet each other, not in a very friendly manner, though they are too far for you to hear specifics. After a brief exchange, they all go into the house together. Horace leads the way while Titch takes up the rear. A moment after, the door shuts, the lamplight illuminates the front window. You approach the house. Prompt 197. The mayor's house is a large single-story home with a small neglected garden and a thick wooden door. Like the rest of the town, it's built on a stone foundation with timber-framed walls. Lamps have been lit inside and glow through closed curtains. Despite the thickness of the door, however, you can clearly hear voices raised in anger inside. You can continue listening at the door, 188, knock, 205, attempt to force the door, 169, or try to quietly pick the lock with thieves' tools, 216. Well, seeing as I don't have thieves' tools, we definitely ain't doing that one. I'm just gonna keep listening. To be fair about it. So yeah, prompt 188. And this will be the last prompt we do today, guys. I'm going to take a short intermission after this, and then I will be back with more Hades. So, y'all are more than welcome to come and join me for that, as we are going to be attempting to make it through at least 2 full escapes. So, alright, we might do a little bit more. The door is thick and the voices are obviously some distance from it. It's only because they're shouting that you can hear them at all. The shouted conversation is occasionally punctuated by the deep bark of Mayor Anthem's guard dog. Perception check. A 22. Definitely made that 15, so we will be going to prompt 217. Not gonna lie, I was expecting this prompt to be a little bit longer, so we'll do another prompt. Gain inspiration. Alright, so we'll restore the inspiration we lost that was on our sheet. Despite loud barking, you can make out 3 voices. One is obviously the mayor demanding what the 2 men are doing in Langston. 2 men take turns speaking in slow, arrogant voices. You still can't make out everything they're saying, however. You just catch the words wolf, money, and find out. You can knock, open the door by force, or pick the lock. Fuck it, let's play it out. Let's play it out. Fuck it. Fuck it. We're gonna knock. Prompt 205. Alright. This will be the last one, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. The voices go silent, and you wonder if anyone is coming. As you're considering other options, you hear the mayor's voice call out from the other side. Who's there? You answer that it's you and ask if everything's alright. Silence again. Finally, the door unlocks and the mayor's scowling face greets you. Excellent! I'm glad you could make it, she says. The most courteous you've ever heard her speak. Won't you please come in? Confused, you follow her into the front hall of her home. As soon as you step past the threshold, you see that the lean bandit is standing behind her with a dagger in the small of her back. Mayor Anthem hardly seems to notice him, however, as she is both taller and much broader than him. Welcome to the party. Or sorry, welcome to the party, he says to you, his sour mouth twisting into a wry smile. Come in and make yourself comfortable. Growing even more confused, you follow the mayor and the bandit into the house's parlor. Shorter, more portly bandit is also there, casually toying with a dagger and trying not to notice the enormous mastiff staring at him like a meal. Hey, as you were, folks, the broad bandit says, gesturing expansively, then pointing at you with his knife. Except you. Stand over by my companion there so we can keep an eye on you, huh? You look askance of the mayor, and she gives you a single small nod, and you do as you've been asked. The next time we sit down, we will be starting at prompt 209. That being said, thank you guys for coming and joining me once more for another solo play here on Gold Hall Gaming. I'm Aaron. This has been Gold Hall Gaming. We'll see you guys in about an hour. Toodles!